Hello everybody, this is Dosian, and I'm going to try to do this year's vinyl tag, but it's going to be not my usual production. You know, I usually like to kind of edit my stuff and put it together with a lot of showing things and everything. I'm going to be depending on library photos for a lot of this today. I threw my back out, so I've kind of been bedbound and out of work since yesterday morning. But hopefully I'll be back on my feet shortly. They gave me some, went and did the old person ER thing, and they got me some meds. So with the steroids and the anti-inflammatories, I should be back on my feet in no time. So it's just kind of gonna be crash edited together. I'll put some music under it, probably to smooth it over a little. And I'm going to do the library photos thing. Not only that, it's going to be difficult for me to participate on some levels. I've been in the vinyl community. I hope I'm still considered that with all the production and the old time radio and my personal music. I wanted to spread out a little bit. My very first video went up February 9th of this last year, so I've been online for only about 10 months. And so I'm very grateful to everyone who's been very kind and encouraging through the process, and me kind of figuring out how I wanted to go about doing this. And I love interactions. I love it when I get feedback and chats and all of that stuff. It's been very embracing, so thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to be clicking back and forth because I didn't have anything really to write with when I was looking at the vinyl tag information, so I'm going to go ahead and grab questions off of a screenshot list and then come back and forth with it. And in some cases, I'll just be honest. I'll tell you, this I have in my collection, this I do not have in my collection, but have had in my collection and want back in my collection, because a lot of people that know the channel know, I've told a little bit about it. I don't go into depth of the story, but I lost everything about 12, 13 years ago. So this has all come from kind of a starting over position. Thieves basically got every piece of vinyl I had except for a 7-inch of a picture disc of UFO and some flexies that were enclosed in books and magazines. The rest of it was gone. And so this has been a pretty rapid start over, but a start over. And it slowed down a lot this year because I have a little one in my life now that I'm trying to make sure has everything he needs and that I'm not an impediment to that. So I've slowed down a bunch. I didn't get very much of anything this year at all. Work changed. I'm not making as much as I used to, and it's just the environment. Seems people are using the services a little bit less this year, and we were coming out of a seasonal change as well. So a lot of people where I'm at go north and disappear for most of the year, and then they come back in the winter. So it's busier now, and now I'm laid up, but hopefully just for a couple of days. And it'll pick up again. If nothing else, thinking about relocating, going north to a city where it might be busy all the time. So I'm looking into that. Most of what I got actually came from a combination of a few gifts and finding stuff on Craigslist that was being discarded and going and hauling it on a few trips. And I got some really great stuff, especially on one of those that was it's probably the most popular video on my channel, where I went and fetched all the 78s. Okay, so my favorite record that I purchased in 2023, this was a gift when I was a kid. It was the second picture disc I ever owned, and fortunately it was at the front of a bin, so I was able to just go ahead and grab it. I absolutely love this record. I love the music on it, and it also plays at one of my favorite places in the world. They have it in rotation on the Muzak at the Boardwalk at Walt Disney World Resort, which is just such a really lovely resort. It's my favorite resort on property. Really beautiful there. Whenever I go out that way, if I'm with friends or family, I try to go on property just to wander through because it's such a pretty place. But they do play a track from this in rotation there, and that is Sugar Blues and Basin Street Blues on a 1946 Vogue picture disc. I purchased that from the gentleman that gave away all the 78s. I went back on a few digs and he was selling the stuff super duper duper inexpensively. He had additional stuff that he wanted to collect something for, so I went back and visited him a few times. Now, if you were to ask me what is my favorite record acquired of 2023 as opposed to purchase, I did receive a gift from a very special friend right around my birthday. And so he prefers to remain anonymous, so I'm going to leave it that way. But I got the Black Emmanuel picture disc from Degorod, which I'll go ahead and show here, but I've taken the liberty of optically censoring it for the benefit of not having the channel censored by YouTube. In addition to the revealing Laura Gemser photo, it's a great Franco Michalizzi score and completed my Degorod picture disc collection. So I have every picture disc from the label now. All right, what was the last record purchased in 2023? In the last days of 2023, very last days over that weekend, I stopped at a yard sale and picked up a record by one of my favorite entertainers of all time. So I got Pure Delight by Danny Kaye, and I absolutely love Danny Kaye movies. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this because he was a madman as a vocalist. He was brilliant. And for anyone that wonders, I paid probably the real value of that in any vinyl collector's marketplace. I tell people all the time, I don't worry about whether something is worth a whole lot of money. I worry about whether I like it. So that cost me a whole big 50 cents, and that's probably all it's worth. Okay, so far I've actually been able to show things. The first one's because one happened to be at the very front of a bin that's elevated. Second one happened to be out because I just purchased it, so I haven't spun it yet. So it's just sitting up top. And this one is up top on a shelf where I could reach it without bending because it won't fit in a crate because it's on a backing board to keep the sleeve stable. The sleeve is bigger than 12 inches. Italian prog band, Banco del Mutuo Soccorso, they released this album first and then followed it with another album that I have on CD, but I can't dig out the CD, in 1972 called Darwin. This one is self-titled, the second one is called Darwin, and that is an amazing Italian prog band, well worth checking out. Alright, so the next question was, if I could only listen to music from what decade would that be? Technically I'm 80s kid. I grew up in the 80s, so when I was young and I was in my formative years, teenage years, basically Michael Jackson and all that stuff was the rage, you know, the pop market. Lionel Richie was out, and at that point I was discovering more of the extreme metal thing. But if I had to choose, I'd actually say 70s, because 70s is the earlier years of my childhood, but that's the music that I was already really latching on to music. I latched onto music at a very young age, and I latched onto doing music at a very young age. I was playing piano by ear by the time I was 5. When I heard Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus, it was game over for me as being a normal person. That changed the way that I thought about music and what music could be, and I fell in love with 3 things about that era. Well, more than that, but I really love the progressive art rock scene that came out of the 70s and bands from all over the world. I just showed the Italian album. I loved ELP, I loved Yes, I loved Jethro Tull. I hadn't discovered the Italian scene at that point. I was very young. I loved theatrical concept type artists and performers, people like Parliament and Alice Cooper, and I never really listened to them. I don't think they did much with a bit, but you know, just seeing Angel on the album covers was like, well, that's neat. And Kiss I never really got into that much, and yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that probably, but it was because I found the music to be kind of a disappointment to the look. I mean, there are a few things that kind of fit, like God of Thunder, but for the most part, they were a metal band that was cranking out the same kind of sort of thing that, to me, AC/DC was doing and all of that. But I love the theatrics. Absolutely love the theatrics, and I honestly think that the live albums sounded a lot better than the studio albums typically. With the exception of the ones that Bob Ezrin worked on. He gave them some depth in those records. I think that they were pretty extraordinary. So I do appreciate Kiss, and I have Kiss in my collection. So don't take that the wrong way. It's just the music wasn't as much the draw so much as all of the lunacy of the stage performance. All right, and of course Gene was my favorite one because he was the scary guy. You know, since then I met him at a trade show once, and I'm sorry to say he's an asshole. But everybody kind of seems to know that too. Doesn't change the merit and value of what it is that they've created and put out there. If that's his worst crime, there are people that have done far worse crimes in the music industry. I mean, the whole thing between Mayhem and Burzum, for example, I think nobody can top all that nonsense. Thank goodness that's over with, and we hope we never see anything like that again. I also loved a lot of the film music that was coming out in that period. John Carpenter was introducing synthwave into the cinema, and he got that, of course, from Goblin and all of the Ennio Morricone and Riz Ortolani and stuff like that was coming out, and John Williams. So I like a lot of film music from the 70s and the 80s both, but yeah, I'd have to go with 70s. 70s would be my favorite because it has all of those things. It has the theatrical bands that were doing entertaining beyond the music, that gave the music more depth and conceptualized it. The guys that were presenting rock operas, we had Jesus Christ Superstar, we had Pink Floyd The Wall, we had Tommy. That stuff was just friggin' amazing and over the top, and I still cherish all of that to this very day. And of course all the prog stuff. What band or artist did I listen to most in 2023? I don't have a CD or a record yet. I'm hoping that this guy releases some records, especially based on some of the current things trending with him. I'm usually working. If I'm not doing Limousine, I'm doing Instacart, trying to make ends meet. So I'm on the road all the time, and I stream stuff off of YouTube if I'm on charters or whatever. I may be in YouTube trying to figure out what to do with myself. And I discovered this artist under the name The Kiffness, Kiffness, and he's got a loop machine, and he goes and digs up recordings in Twitter or whatever, reels, little 20 and 30 second clips of folk singers from different parts of the world. He's done Cantonese opera, he's done things with guys singing in South Africa and India, all over the place. He's South African himself, but different dialects, and will create new mixes using this loop machine, playing horn, playing guitar, playing keys, and fleshes them out and makes full complete songs out of what they've done, and makes it just sort of an internet contribution national thing going on. And since then, other people started participating in doing international versions where somebody would download his video and they would add to the arrangement. Another person downloads the video and they add to those two arrangements, and then it winds up becoming this whole crazy layered thing after bouncing around the web for a while. He took to doing this with animal sounds. And I mean, everybody knows about like Jingle Cats and Jingle Dogs and the old tape things that were done. And they're cute, but they're novelty and not much more. This guy does that using sampling and pitch shifting and autocorrect on the sounds they've made, and creates songs around them that sound entirely much more amazing than they should. He's got this remarkable gift with the melodic hook and with doing things that are not just cute, but really draw you in, tell you a story, and make you just love the song. And this year he actually did one called The Lonely Cat, and when that came out and I saw it, I thought, this guy's going to blow up. He's going to be on tour from this one. And I know he's already popular throughout South Africa. He's got several albums out there on CD. I haven't acquired one, but apparently he was already a popular and a very successful artist. But so far as America, I don't know that anybody knew about him. And when I saw that, I thought this thing's going to go viral. It's going to make a difference in his career. Sure enough, three months later, he's posting a video showing that he's been going to places like Poland, and people have their phones out with the little lighter thing on, and they're singing the Lonely Cat song with him, an audience that's immense. And since then, he's actually come to America and toured America, and I would have loved to have seen him. The shows were selling out almost everywhere that he booked. He's really something else. So hopefully he puts out a record so I can get one, and I would prefer it on vinyl. And if he's watching this, or he is in any way part of this community, which I kind of doubt, I'd love to see it on a picture disc focusing on some of the Animal songs. They actually helped me in more ways than I can say, because I lost one of my best little friends of over 20 years this year, and somehow that music helped me to kind of get through that, actually, because that's a difficult process. Anyway, the Kiffness, just look it up on YouTube and surf through some of his stuff and prepare to be amazed a few times at the things that he's done both with animals and with humans, because the material is really, really quite good. Okay, shows 7-inch records. I was able to grab this because that's it, and it was just up on top, so that doesn't weigh very much because there's not very much there. And I've pulled first one, D23 50-year celebration of the Walt Disney World Resort. Nice little heavy stock picture sleeve. I'm not in D23. I would love to be in D23, but that's not in my price range. So somebody that was, this is part of their gift package, I guess, that they receive when they get those tickets. And I picked it up online off of the eBay. It's on a nice bright red vinyl with the old-fashioned rainbow label, and one side is the opening song from the Country Bear Jamboree, which was there when the park opened 50 years prior, and the other side is from one of the newest attractions, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I got 3 Disney items in this stack of 7, so I hope you don't mind. Frozen is easily found on Picture Disc LP, not so easily found in the box set that was blue vinyl with etchings. I'd love to find that. It's always over $200 though, it seems. I did get this Record Store Day 7-inch that goes well with the picture disc. It has 2 tracks on it. It's a very nice one. So it's got Let It Go. No, it's got Do You Want to Build a Snowman in Summer on it. This one was a present from my sister. She goes flea marketing for me up in Jacksonville, and she bought a small stack of Victor's 7-inch promo copy, and in those was this pink vinyl of Baby I'm Burnin' by Dolly Parton. There's some other cool ones that I got from her in that stack that are colored vinyl, a green one with Merry Christmas from, I don't even remember the name of the band on that, I think it's a UK band, and a Madonna single and some Ray Stevens things. This I picked up in a thrift store. I paid, it says 75 cents on there, but I think I paid 50 actually. The Viscounts, and that's the Harlem Shuffle. Very short track, but very dramatic, very theatrical feeling. I love that track. So when I saw that and that it was an original press, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick that up. It's just neat. This one, an interesting color. The Disneyland label, Mickey and the Beanstalk, Storyteller in Brazilian Portuguese on sort of a teal vinyl. This is also Disney related, but not Disney. And this is 2 records, but I'm counting it as 1. This is the Firehouse 5 plus 2. This is made up of members of the Disney Imagineering team and animation directors. It was their off-lot hobby in Los Angeles. They used to, kind of theatrical art rock style, they bought an antique fire truck, would show up at clubs dressed as firemen and play really outrageous Dixieland that sounded very cartoon-like and exaggerated. And they were very popular in the area. Some of their music does actually appear in some of the Disney films. And they played the park from time to time. This goes with my love of exploitation B movies. My favorite director was Lucio Fulci. I collaborated with Sean Lewis in California and about 200 artists around the world at one point for putting together a tribute double CD to him, his music, his films, and the music that appeared in his films. So when I saw this on eBay, I got it really inexpensively and I couldn't pass it up. This is a 7-inch of radio spots for one of his movies, spaghetti western. Original title was Massacre Time. It was released domestically as The Brute and the Beast and turns up on DVD now under both titles. Who's coming to my dinner party? Easy answer for me, I think. Keith Emerson, Frank Zappa, Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth, and Mr. Devin Townsend. Absolutely. Would love to meet all of them. Just brilliant, brilliant artists. We lost them. I'm going to go with a personal hero in more ways than one. And a remarkable artist, absolutely unforgettable, legendary. Was standing in the middle of a thrift when I heard it come on the radio and was immediately heartbroken. Tina Turner. We lost the great, majestic, incredible, amazing Tina Turner. If I could only listen to music from one country, easy answer again. This one probably catch some off guard, or some people think it's odd. Italy. I fell in love with Italian prog. I know that the British prog bands are most responsible for that scene happening, but there were just so many really amazing bands out of that country, and I'm discovering ones I never heard before all the time. I also love their film music scene. Ennio Morricone, Riz Ortolani. They gave us the incredible Francesco De Masi, Fabio Frizzi, Claudio Simonetti, the whole lineup of Goblin, working on film music. Franco Michalizzi, just too many to name in film music, and we have classical music from there that's absolutely superb. Vivaldi and the operas, and there's just, it's endless, the amount of music and music history. And if somebody was to go, yeah, but you're a metalhead, well, there's a Garthy, and I mean, there too. They really do some amazing stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Italy. Name 3 vinyl community channels I discovered in 2023. Honestly, I was just surfing up new and exciting music and artists creating music on the internet prior to 2023. I discovered the vinyl community surfing into a video by Tuco, and then from there discovered Max Stevens with I Buy Old Records and Recordology, and those were the 3 big influences for me to actually get started doing this. And so basically everyone else that I've corresponded without you, and I love all you guys, I discovered you this year, and I'm discovering more people every single day and loving it, and loving checking everything out and checking out everybody's channels. I do have favorites. Those 3 are among favorites. I love JT's Record Room. I really can't go into that because I don't want to leave anybody out and hurt anybody's feelings. It's just, there's so much love in this community that it's awesome. So thank you very much for just being out there and letting me be part of this. Show a record I bought when I was a teenager. Do I still have it? No, it went away with the wind with that collection, but I do have a CD of it buried here. And what I originally got was a picture disc. I bought it because it was a picture disc, and because I figured I could get away with it with my family knowing that I collect picture discs. And knowing in my heart the rebellious side of me as a teenager, my family would not approve of this. And then listening to it, and it's technically, I think, one of their worst albums, if for no other reason the mix is really bad. It sounds kind of like it was recorded in a garbage can. And it's not their first work. They had several albums before it. I just never heard of them before this. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Mantis, Kronos, and Abaddon kind of introduced me to extreme music with that incredible lyric. And they also turned me on to checking out some of their prior albums, including Black Metal and Welcome to Hell and At War with Satan. And I just fell in love with this music, and that was my Kickstarter into metal as something that necessarily didn't have melodic vocals, I suppose. Show a funk album, George Clinton in Parliament with Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome. My favorite funk record, one of the first funk records I ever got. I have the CD now. I used to have the vinyl and would like very much to have it again. That's just a really fun piece of work right there. An album I have, I think almost everybody has, would probably be Dave Brubeck's Time Out. Just an amazing record, easy introduction to jazz. One that I think nobody has, I've been asking for more information on this and its origins. Musical Souvenir of Trattoria Menu, 100's Magic Kingdom, and it parodies the artwork of a musical souvenir of Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom that was released in 1975, I think. This record includes the picture disc plus 3 CDs plus a board game plus some sort of transparencies, and it just goes on and on and on. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff bundled inside of it. She's great. A female artist I got in 2023. I picked up a downright minty copy, original press of this 1957 Pearl Bailey album. It sounds fantastic, and the lyrics have just a touch of wonderful burlesque humor about them. It's a really great record. I'm very happy with it. What is my favorite video that I posted to the vinyl community in 2023? I'm going to say Horror Records 2. There were several things I did with that I think made it more fun to put together. I spent a little more time in post on it and kind of sketching out a beginning for it. I did a mashup on keyboards live into it. I'm just using an open air speaker, just playing a sort of a two-part medley of This Is Halloween by Danny Elfman and John Carpenter's Halloween theme. That goes into tiny sketch that's all of maybe 15 seconds. That was sort of my tribute to the Haunted Mansion's stretching room and the No Way Out and the lights blacking out. Added in the actual names of a lot of Vinyl Community Channel members that I appreciate, and these sort of evil sounding whispers in the background. So I did a lot of layering with sound on that one too, and it was just a lot of fun. Plus it was also the first time I actually did a giveaway of any kind, and it was fun doing the giveaway and fun using a randomizer tool to pick out the winner a few weeks later and send it on out. So I really had a great time with that one. Vinyl Community Channel that posted the video that I most enjoyed in 2023, and I went back and looked at it several times. Recordology did a really cool one. They went, he and his wife, Mrs. Recordology, they went to a warehouse of sorts that's owned by Kurt Naup, who does one of the most prestigious antique 78 RPM and equipment auctions in the country. And he was so gleeful going through that place and so energetic. And I could tell, his wife was having fun watching him while she was shooting everything. And I would have been just as, in fact, I was on my end watching this. There are so many amazing records in this video. It's a two-parter. So many amazing records and pieces of equipment, some things I had never seen before that were really, really just brilliant. It's a very exciting and fun video. So if anybody has a chance, even if you're not into 78s, go over there and look at that, because there's all kinds of crazy stuff with picture discs and flexies and oddities and machinery and stuff in it that's just really fascinating and fun. It's a really exciting pair of videos. So definitely check that out. It's on Recordology's channel, and it's listed under The Willy Wonka of Records is the title of it. Show a record I describe as a 90s classic. I'm going to go with At the Gates and Slaughter of the Soul. It's a black metal album, but it's very technical, very precision. Every song on it is catchy, and every song on it is just delivered with really, really massive skill. I'd like to have the picture disc. I have a CD. One I'd like to be in the cover? Well, of course, we got Freddie O and the Hellcats, project of filmmaker Fred Olen Ray. In the background, that's artwork from the poster for Beast of Blood, a Philippine horror film from the very early 70s. Yeah, who would not want to be in this cover with her? Because, I mean, I have a little bit of Ralph Furley in my soul. If it couldn't be that one because it's only available on CD, then can I go with the Gatefold? Because the Jazz album cover front's not that interesting, but that bicycle race that I can't even show here on the interior, there's a little Ralph Furley in my soul. Show a record that feels like a greatest hits, I gotta go with Thriller. And I have this version, the vintage 80s original run picture disc. It also falls into that category of albums that I think pretty much everybody has it. Show an album that was released in 1974. God, it took seconds for my hair to go wonky. I'm wearing the t-shirt. So there we go. Electric Light Orchestra, El Dorado. It's one of those full print tees. Yeah, Electric Light Orchestra, El Dorado, my favorite ELO album. And I don't know if I said this on this channel or not, but I've said it to people at some point. I think this album actually had a great deal of influence on, of all things, a black metal album. Cradle of Filth did an album in the last decade or so called Damnation in a Day. I think it was in the 2010s. It's formatted almost identically. All of the songs are segued together with little orchestral bridge work pieces. It's orchestrated. It has a full choir throughout. It has an introduction and an ending that has a narrative from sort of a pitched down sounding voice. The whole format of the thing is almost identical to the way that El Dorado is constructed, even if it's an entirely different genre. And it's just amazing. I love both records, by the way. I think both are really great albums. My copy of El Dorado is on CD. I really hope eventually one of these days to get my hands on one of those UK clear vinyl pressings. I think that would be a really cool copy to have on vinyl. Okay, those are my answers for Vinyl Tag 2024. Thank you, Rob Walker, for putting this together. I hope I did okay under the circumstances. I have kind of limited mobility, but I'll be feeling better in a day or two. Wishing everyone out there and their families Happy New Year and endless prosperity, finding grails in your crate digs, and life is pizza. Send records. See you real soon.